Hello everybody, my name is Coolblue, and I'm bringing you guys yet another CasNet interview, and this one is actually going to be featuring somebody who's, as far as I understand it, she's been involved in the esports scene for a little bit. So, without further ado, Diamond, would you like to say hello to all the beautiful people out there, please?
Hi, hello there, everyone. I am Diamond, and I had something for that, and then Archer came in my head, and then that just totally went out the window. So.
Don't worry. We'll keep things moving right on along by asking you to please introduce yourself, as in, like, give us a little bit of background on yourself. You don't have to go into too much detail, but at least, like, what you majored in when you were in school, where you work at, like, not where you work at, but what you work in, what area and stuff, just general stuff.
I work in the fact of my headset is just like, oh my god, I have 5%. And I'm totally not plugging it in right now. And okay, so there we go. Anyhow, God, school was like a long time ago. I actually was an English major. Funny enough, honest to God, I was actually an English major for English education.
Uh-huh.
And I actually stopped that because, I wanted to pursue everything and all my careers in Dota 2, and then, funny enough, my English has declined, like, exponentially after working with, like, a lot of Europeans. No, it's not a bad thing, it's just I can't spell anymore because, Europeans, like, well, some of them do and some of them don't, but
right.
I was working with a lot of Russians for a while, so I couldn't spell anything anymore.
Well, because different dialects and different ways of spelling things, so I understand.
Yeah, so that happened, and then I was actually working at a steel mill, so a steel shop for a while. Yeah, that was actually
work out for you?
It wasn't too bad. It wasn't my passion. Like the whole, getting up and going to work every single day and doing the same routine over and over and over and over. It's just it's hideous and awful. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. And then I quit. Well, sort of. I kind of, like, I'm on call technically, so I'm still technically employed. But then there was that, so.
But you worked in the steel mill. I mean, that sounds somewhat interesting, and we might actually talk about that a little bit later. Not too much right now, though.
Right. So, and
English major who works in a steel mill that casts Dota.
Yes.
That's a nice little trail of things. Like I said, we'll talk about this a little bit more later. But for now, could you at least tell us where you got the name Diamond from, and also your fully qualified name, I guess. It's actually Diamond 86248. So could you tell us where you got the name Diamond from, and why you use it, and where all those crazy numbers are coming from?
All right. Well, I guess back in the days of Warcraft 3, I was trying to look for a password. Right? And no, my password has nothing to do with my name, actually. So just throwing that out there. But I was looking for a password, and I remember, like, thinking, like, oh, what's an easy way to remember, like, a numerated password, right? So I was like, well, maybe a shape. And then I thought, like, a square. I'm like, nah, that's too easy. So I did diamond, and then I did 86248 diamond. And that's what it is. On a numpad, it is a diamond shape. And then I made that in Warcraft 3, and I kept it ever since. And it was like all my form names, all my everything. So,
okay, like hold on. Let me take a few steps back. So if I go to my numpad and I do the number 8624, yeah, it's a nice little. That is clever.
Thank you.
It's too clever for, like, me. I just looked at it at first. I was like, okay, it's like, her home address or something. Oh, that's like her airplane that, I don't know, she got delivered to the U.S. from. I don't know. So yeah, that's interesting. That's really, I don't know. Like I shouldn't be as fascinated by that as I should, or probably should. But that's fascinating.
Yeah, a lot of people try to guess it, and then they overlook it, and they're like, oh, is that your area code, or is this the amount of guys you slept with? And I'm like, no, god damn it, no. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm probably not supposed to curse in here. That's going to be hard for me.
No, it's fine. Just as long as we keep it tame enough.
I will try. That's all I can promise.
Yes, you'll behave ourselves, because the next question I'll ask you is, how did you get into video games? And that is actually a great way to behave yourself, is to get into video games. But what brought you into the world of video games?
Well, actually, my dad and my brother play video games. So when I was younger, I wanted to play video games too. So I just did. Like, honestly, I've been playing games for I don't even know how long.
Hmm.
So, they, like, I remember playing Barbie on a video game, and I remember playing like Toy Story and
Oh man.
uh,
Hmm.
RB 2 was the best, and Revolt was the best computer game ever. But it's funny though, like I
Hmm.
was allowed to play PC games, but my parents would never buy me a console. So I was never allowed to play console games because they thought I would get like too hooked on it or whatever. So
So instead, you got hooked on the PC games.
yeah, I just stayed with it. And then my first online game where I played with people online was Unreal Tournament 2004. And that's when
Wow.
I started like getting introduced to the fact that there is like a world out there,
Hmm.
you know, and I could talk to people from like all over the world. And
Hmm.
well, it wasn't really all over the world actually. On Unreal Tournament, it was more just Americans, right? So
Right.
like
Right.
I just like I found out like, oh my God, I can talk to people, you know, from a completely different state,
Yeah.
right? And
It's like crossing those lines of, oh my, like it's almost like I'm talking to somebody sitting beside me when really they're, like you said, in a different state. Like they're in California and I'm in Florida. Something like that.
yeah,
Hmm.
so that's how I started doing that. And then I was playing Warcraft 3, and then I got into Warcraft 3, and I was just so obsessed with tower defenses.
Hmm.
I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be the best at tower defenses ever! But then again, it's really not that hard, and I was also like 12 at the time. And
Nice.
so I played Warcraft 3 for, I didn't even, I honestly, the only reason I stopped playing Warcraft 3 is because Dota 2 came out.
Hmm. And
And
I'll
that's
actually
it.
hold you there.
Okay.
Because I think you kind of already told us, but I just want to hear a little bit more detail on how exactly did you get into Dota? Because that is a game that you primarily play, and as far as I understand it, that's a game that you're primarily involved in. But we might find out a little bit later if you are involved in other games. But how did you get into Dota?
Um, well, I guess like a couple of my friends that I used to play Unreal Tournament with,
Hmm.
they would play Warcraft 3 with me, and they would always be playing Dota. And it's funny because my brother actually used to play Dota too,
Nice.
like when he was younger. But then he's the kind of gamer that moves on to different games all the time, so
Right. Right.
he moves on. But um, so they would always tell me like, "Oh, just come play," and I was like, "No, I don't want to play it. It looks stupid, right?" And then eventually they just got me to play it. And I remember thinking buying ultimate orbs like nonstop was really good. Like the first day because I was like, but it gives you 21 stats. Why wouldn't you want it? Or it gives, yeah, and I was like, why wouldn't you? And they were like, no, that's not how the game's played. They're like, you make recipes. And I remember like the first like
Uh-huh.
month of Dota, it was just trying to figure out how to like make items and which items were in which places, you know, and which
Right. Right.
shops.
Because back in those days, Warcraft, the stores were like in 20 different places.
Yeah, and they were like, oh, the stores, you had to remember which store to get it. And eventually,
Hmm.
like, you started getting kills, right? And then you're like, oh, wow, that's actually kind of fun. And then you just keep getting into it because you want to get better and you want to own. And
Hmm.
then you start theory crafting for yourself. And then it just started from there. And that's how I've been playing it. But,
Uh-huh.
like, my actual esports scene,
Hmm.
like,
Well, wait. Actually, we'll get to that. We'll get into that
okay.
part. Don't give away too much early on.
I know. I was like, I
Yeah.
don't remember what he kind of asked, so I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that
Oh
yet. Yeah,
snap!
so just stop
Oh,
me.
I didn't send you the list. Oh my bad. My bad. I am a horrible interviewer. Hold on. I didn't send you the list. After all
I
this
used to
time.
never send people lists, so you can just go. Just tell me to shut up at whatever time and just go.
No,
I'm
no,
okay
no,
with
no,
that.
no, no. I should do this the way that I've been doing for everybody else. There you go. There's a list, and there's actually gonna be a few things inserted, like probably between 6 and 7. But we're on number 4. If you're following along with the list, and for all the viewers out there, don't worry. The list is not a actual thing. It's imaginary. It doesn't exist because there is no list. That's right. All right. So moving on to the next thing that's on the list that doesn't exist. What is your favorite thing about Dota?
Um, it would be different if I were to say Dota and Dota 2.
Oh, sorry, Dota
So,
2. Oh, actually, no, 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 no. This is a good perspective. What was your favorite thing about Dota, the original, the Warcraft 3 mod?
I guess my favorite thing about it would be the fact that, um, honestly, my favorite thing about Dota was that you could 5 stack and then
Mm-hmm.
get 5 random people and just blow them into smithereens. That was my favorite thing about Dota. And then like honestly, I miss that. Or you could play with 6 people and get like, you know, 3 pubs on each. Wait, 2 pubs on each side, right?
Right.
And you know, like that kind of stuff. Like there was, like, in all honesty, there was more options with Dota in the original. Like, not in the you know, visual effects and all that other stuff that they've added into Dota 2, but there was just so many things that I liked about the original Dota that they haven't implemented yet. Like, they're starting to get into ability draft, which is kind of cool, but like there's still a lot of game modes that they left out, or there's a lot of
yeah, like a few of them that I know of are the one where like you have to choose a different hero every time you die, and there's also the easy mode, and I think those are only 2 I remember. And also,
well, to be honest, we kind of are playing easy mode right now anyway. Like when Dota 2 no, I'm serious. Like when Dota 2 like came out, I thought it was easy mode because of the fact that like it was just, I don't know, it was, but I mean right now we get the same amount of gold as it was in easy mode. So I wonder what happened to easy mode.
Maybe they're gonna make a new mode called easier mode. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe, I guess. But you got more EXP in easy mode though, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like you get passive EXP, you get more gold per farm, or you got more gold per minute and stuff.
Per
like
second.
that.
It was 2 gold per second instead of 1, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I missed that there was more game modes and stuff in Dota 2.
I mean,
in Dota, I'm sorry.
And honestly, I feel like that will come in time, but to be honest, I mean, it took Valve, what, 3 years to get out of beta? I mean, come on. So,
yeah.
We're still waiting. We're still waiting for those custom maps, which actually they're already working on those, but...
Yeah, there's like specific sites that you can play at where they have different maps and stuff, but I've never gone to any of them, so...
Yeah, I mean, I don't trust them as far as I can throw them, and because of the internet, you can't throw. But, speaking of throws, what are your favorite things about Dota 2? Because I know there's been a lot of throws, that's what the transition is supposed to be, but anyway.
Honestly, my favorite thing about Dota 2 is that I can play with people from around the world. Because I've learned so much about Europe, and I've learned so much about just the world in general, and so how connected we really are and how globalized everything really is.
Right. And
that, like, Dota 2 has taught me that, like, more than any other instance that I've ever learned. And I don't think there's anything that in school could have taught me, because you get the, you know, experience of being around people. Like, I can't tell you, the first time I heard a Russian's voice in Dota 2, oh my god, I went ballistic. I was like, why am I not constantly playing on European servers? But it was just because, you know, I wasn't used to it, right? And there's just so many different customs that you learn about people, and you get treated so much differently. Like, I definitely get treated so much differently in the European scene rather than I do in the North American scene.
Right.
And even just the forms are different. Like, everything's just different. But it's the same because, you know, we're still playing the same game, but it's just, you know.
Actually, I can definitely relate to that. And by I can relate to that, I mean, I know of something that's similar to that. Where basically there was a famous music artist, and she would perform in the U.S. or the States, the Americas. She would perform in the U.S. and, you know, the crowd would be like, "Yo, yeah, wow, yeah," while she's singing. You know, when she does a great part, they would cheer and stuff and clap and go wild. But then she went overseas to like somewhere like, it wasn't Russia, but somewhere like Russia, some European place in that general direction. And while she was performing, like the whole entire crowd was just quiet the whole entire time. And like it wasn't that they were bored or they didn't like what she was saying or singing, but they were like listening, like they were just actively listening. And at the end, they were, you know, all just clap very politely, and then she'll go into the next song. And she said it was a weird experience because she's so used to like people acting a certain way when she performs, to like see the other custom. It was like interesting and scary at the same time. So I definitely can see the relation that you're saying of playing internationally with the European, like playing with other Europeans or playing with the South Americas or playing with somebody from China or something like that. It's like different people, different things, different feels.
Yeah. That's like, honestly, that's something that I absolutely love about Dota 2. And it's like it's not even really game centered, but it is because like you can't do that in League of Legends. Like you would have to make a new account, right? I don't know if
Right.
you can do
Oh
that
man.
on Han.
Yeah.
Um, you know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
they make it so easy. It's just like a click where you can just go onto the US server. You don't have to log out, log back in onto a different server like you did in Warcraft 3,
Hmm.
you know? Like everything's in like almost every like honestly, I was baffled that like Europeans spoke English. Like I didn't know that. No, I really didn't. Like you're never taught that in school, right?
Well, I mean,
Like you're
yeah, yeah.
yeah, like I like I found out like, and they speak it very well, right? And I was like,
Hmm.
"Holy shit, you guys speak English like perfectly."
Hmm.
And actually a lot of that came from Dota commentaries too because there was a lot of Europeans that would come from Dota commentaries and
Right.
that's where my big like esports thing came in. But like
Hmm.
that's my favorite thing really. That and the graphics. Like I love the graphics and I love the cosmetics and all that other stuff and
Hmm.
like the fact that you can like artists have a play inside of the
Yeah, yeah,
scene.
yeah.
And
The store, and all the stuff that you can add to it. So, I mean, it sounds like you like pretty much every single thing community related in Dota, correct?
honestly, I really do.
Hmm.
Like I like there's like there's a couple things I don't approve of, but I can see other people liking it, so that's why I don't mind it.
Right. Okay.
Like, yeah.
That's actually really good. Okay. Okay. That will be a well thought out answer to that one. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next part, the quick response section. Before we start getting to the more nitty gritty type things, let's go do the quick response section. So, do you know how this works?
I give you a quick response?
Darn it! People figure it out so easily. Jeez, it's like it's supposed to be like some convoluted, vague thing, but no, everybody says, "Oh, I respond quickly," and it's like, yeah, that's what you do. So, okay, because I was planning on saying it, I'll explain to everybody who doesn't know, who's watching, not to insult anybody's intelligence or anything, but just because I feel like it needs to be explained. I ask a question, and she responds very fastly with with her response, and then I move on to the next one. So, yes, very complicated, I know. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, favorite hero.
AA.
Favorite, what does that stand for?
Ancient Apparition? Oh, sorry. I should
Favorite.
probably
Yeah, favorite courier.
Shagbark. Shagbark's adorable.
Favorite team.
I would say DK right now.
Hmm. Favorite caster.
Toby and Cinderin together are my favorite.
Hmm. Favorite event.
The International. That's
That's
100%.
easy answer. Favorite color.
I don't have a favorite color.
Favorite number.
Don't have one.
Favorite book.
Don't have one.
Favorite TV show.
I would have to say Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Ooh, nice. Good choice. And last but not least, favorite artist. Sure, that works.
Artist as in like
Uh,
painting art or like
Painting artist.
I don't really know, to be honest.
Aww. Okay, fine. We'll go ahead and end the section there because I was trying to be creative with the favorites, but it didn't work out too well. It didn't work out too terribly well. But we made it through it. Okay, so good job on the quick response section. You win a whole entire invisible gold star that goes to the internet.
Yay!
Yeah, see, everyone likes winning things. Okay, so speaking of winning things, as I mentioned before, you've been involved in the esports scene. Actually, you've been involved in Dota essentially since the start, but you've been involved in the esports scene as well, as far as I understand it. So, how did you get into the esports scene?
One of my friends that I would play Dota with, like Dota 1 with, introduced me to Dota commentaries.
Mm-hmm. What is that?
Dota commentaries was where Luminous and LD and all of them came from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you ever heard of B-Balling or Nebula or...
Mm-hmm. I have.
Yeah, so that's where they came from too, was DotaCommentaries.com. So, and it was a website where people would commentate and they would just upload it to the website, and then they had in-houses and stuff too, and all that stuff.
Huh.
And it was actually really nice, like, when it was in its prime.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's where, like, I started figuring out, like, oh my god, Europeans speak English, oh my god. But, like, we could never really play with each other, because it would either be hosted on Battle.net or Garena, or, What was the other one? Dotalicious? We played a little bit on Dotalicious, but not a lot.
Are you talking about servers for like the actual game?
The in-houses, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then I met Luminous, and
oh, nice. Okay. Do tell details, because Luminous is relative to the community or people who might be watching who may have followed a lick of Dota. Luminous is a pretty big name as far as casting goes.
Yeah. So I met Luminous, and then he actually ended up making me like an admin for the TeamSpeak server, which might have been a good or bad thing. I don't really know. Like, I was just so like happy to be working with them.
Right.
And so then they eventually made me like admin on the website and all that other stuff. And then I met Nebula, and I met Bambo, and I met B-balling, who was actually like, him and I used to cast together a lot, and Screen Guard Guy is like one of the nicest people ever in the history of ever. And the Maker, actually, and I said this the other day, and the Maker is on your list.
Yes, he is on the list.
Yeah, but like I don't know what the hell happened to him. He used to cast in Dota commentaries too, but like not officially cast, but he used to cast in Dota commentaries too. And same with Ian James Barnett. Did you know Ian James Barnett?
No, the name. No, it doesn't ring any bells at all.
Oh, okay. Well, he stopped right as soon as I came up because he like got married and had a kid and stuff. So.
Life.
But he was actually a pretty big caster in Dota commentaries, and then LD came to Dota commentaries after I left, though. But anyway, what I did was I was working with Luminous, and we kind of ended on a bad note, which is kind of sad, but like that's just because Dota commentaries ended up just falling through. And you know, like it had its time, and you know, the Premier League came, and then we helped out with the Premier League a little bit, and then I left and went to join Dota. But with Luminous, like I created a bunch of casting tournaments, and I created tournaments for people to play in, and then that's when I started giving out beta keys for Dota 2, right? And I was at that point where like I was like, I don't really want to play Dota 2 yet. Like I'm so stuck on Dota. And like I didn't want to play Dota 2 when I first came out. Like I just didn't want to. And I had a key.
You were a part of the family of people who were saying, "Oh man, you know, Dota 2, yeah, it looks pretty, but it's not the original. Like this is freaking."
Yeah, no, I was totally like that. I was like, I'm not playing. No, actually, I didn't think it was pretty at all. I thought like the original Dota 2, it looked like shit. It was awful. I was like, I could do a better job than this, and Valve wants me to download Steam and play on their servers, and I'm like, yeah, no, I hated it at first.
Right.
But my friends kept pushing me into it, and then I eventually kept playing it, and then I didn't, and then I like never went back to Dota 1. But I did like design contests, and I did a whole bunch of contests to give away, to give away stuff, and I like doing giveaways. So that's the other thing too, is I love doing giveaways. So I do giveaways a lot on my Twitch.
Yes, and that's actually a perfect time to pause. And I'm gonna ask this question in the middle of the cast because I'm trying out something new. So if people really like what they're hearing so far, where can they find you? Because we have your stuff listed on the screen, but we want to hear it come from you.
Oh, I guess the easiest way to find me would be through my Twitch, which is twitch.tv/DiamondDota, which is kind of easy to remember. And then my Facebook is 86248Diamond, and then my Twitter is Diamond86248.
Yes.
So I guess like the most active ones I'm on is actually my Facebook and my Twitch, but
okay.
So but to be honest, you could Google 86248Diamond. But like if you get to my Twitch, which is DiamondDota, all the other links are there on my Twitch. So that's just the easiest way. Is DiamondDota, and there is 2 Ds at it. So
your Twitch channel is the best place to find you, and the least best place to find you is your YouTube and your Twitter.
Well, I wouldn't say least best, but like my YouTube has the least amount of uploads right now. So yeah, because I'm doing more Twitch like streaming and stuff right now. Okay,
good to know. Now let's continue on down the road of, oh my gosh, you hated Dota initially, Dota 2.
Yeah, I really I was so upset. Like I was like, why are all you guys leaving? I'm like, no, don't do it. And like I just didn't like it at first. And it's funny because I had a key for so long and I just didn't play it. And I was like, I'm not doing it.
My question actually, because like relative to as far as I actually know, or as far as I actually understand, you have a lot of involvement in Dota, but as far as esports in general, were you involved in any other thing around that time when you were starting to transition from Dota 1 to Dota 2?
Like, not well. All of the things that I did in the esports scene were for Dota commentaries at first.
Okay.
So that was actually all Dota 1 related. Like, but it was at the point of handing out Dota 2 keys and all that other stuff. So.
Okay.
But after that, then I moved to join Dota, and I did my own YouTube thing for a while where I did interviews and I did like casting and all that other stuff, which is actually still all on my YouTube. So it's a little dated, but yeah.
Could you run us down the list of some of the notable, well, not notable, just some of the names that come to your head of people that you've interviewed?
I would say my most successful interviews were Luminous. I did Reeves. I did Suns Fan.
Nice.
I was actually supposed to do Toby, but then like it kept falling. I was actually supposed to do Toby and Sing Sing, and then they kept falling through. But not out of that. It's just like the time schedules kept mixing up. But
I was just laughing at the prospect of another Sing Sing interview, because like ever since Shiva's interview with Sing Sing, I always laugh at the Sing Sing.
Oh,
interview, it's like, it's gonna be so epic. No.
No, I would say my most successful ones are those.
Okay.
And AC, I did one with AC too.
Nice.
Yeah, I would say those are my most successful ones.
Okay, so continue along the lines of how did you get into esports? What eventually got you into the esports scenes as far as like going to actual tournaments or like physical LANs and stuff? Because I'm assuming you've been to a LAN. I don't know for sure.
No, actually I haven't. I've never been to an actual LAN before. Okay. And like the reason being is because like a lot of the Chicago involved ones, like I just moved back to Chicago and I was in Florida at that time, so like there were a lot of LANs in Chicago, but I couldn't go to it because I was in Florida, and there's like no LANs in Florida. Like none whatsoever. I haven't been, like the only thing that I was actually at was BlizzCon. Like that's the only thing I've actually been to, but that's not Dota related.
Didn't people get something special at BlizzCon? Was it that BlizzCon or was it another one? Like they got like a early access to like Pandarian or something like that.
Yeah, that's the one I went to.
Okay.
But you always get something special at BlizzCon, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, you paid enough money for it.
Well, no, like you get a goodie bag every time you go to BlizzCon.
Okay.
So that's what I got. But like no, nothing. Like I've never been to one of the internationals. I've never.
Well, I mean, it is expensive, and like the closest one I could have ever went to was the last one, but the next one's gonna be like across the seas and something like that. Or wait, no, it's still rumored. They don't know where it's at yet.
In all honesty, money isn't really an issue. It's just the fact that like. I always wanted to go as somebody, so I never did. And because I took like a hiatus from Dota,
right?
About like pretty much all of the last 2 years, I've took like a hiatus from Dota. So like me getting back into it, like I didn't want to go as, because I worked so hard in Dota commentaries and I worked so hard in Join Dota. And then when I just took a hiatus, I don't want to just go as nobody because I don't feel like I deserve that. Which sounds really conceited when I say it that way, but it's not.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if it makes you feel any better, we're interviewing you because you showed interest and you also casted a few things, and come to find out you have this gigantic history, so you are somebody to us.
Aww. That's so sweet.
Oh, mushy moment. Okay, moving on. Let's stop being mushy here. Okay. So you haven't been to a LAN or anything. Are you planning on going to like a LAN anytime soon? Like maybe the International 4?
I want to go to TI4. I'm trying to get my team to be good enough to go to TI4, but...
And that actually brings up the next perfect transition. It's like almost like we planned that or something. What groups are you involved in? Because you mentioned team, and I think your team is Team Rise, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they're Rise Gaming, so it's RIZE, and then Dash Gaming, and they're actually they're pretty decent, and I'm actually quite proud of them because they have actually stayed together. Actually, if there's one thing that in this semi-professional scene, because for the past year I've actually been training like my skills, like I've been on various teams and I've been trying to work with people on teams and all that other stuff, and I have to tell you, like getting into the professional scene is like one of the hardest things I think I've ever tried to do, and I should say one of the hardest things I've ever started trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm still doing it, and that's why I'm not casting as much, is because I just don't have the time for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if there's any like major difference between the U.S. and the North American, or U.S. and the North Americans and the Europeans,
Right.
is that Europeans I feel are a little bit more ambitious,
Mm-hmm.
but they change teammates like they change shoes. Like
Mm-hmm.
they really just I don't know. It's not a bad thing necessarily, but it's not healthy in the sense of trying to actually get on a team, you know?
Okay. See, I'll go ahead and play devil's advocate really fast, because there's also the other half of the equation, that the North American scene, as far as the global scene in general, the North American scene is probably like 2% of a 1,000% pool of people, to where the North American scene is not as big as people want it to be, and the European scene is pretty much huge. Case in point, the Join Dota League, which is a tournament held by Join Dota. It's a really awesome tournament, really awesome event. That's how I got to meet all these awesome people, and how we got to branch out and stuff. And that's enough about CasNet. But their whole entire event, they have like for the American division, they have American division, Asian division, EU division, and another division, South American division, I think. I'm not sure. But all this goes a long way to say that the American division has like 2 divisions and then a starter division, which is like where all the new people come in, and the European division has like 70 higher divisions and then like 7 million starter divisions. It's daunting to see. So I was gonna say, relative to the size of the thing, do you think that could become a factor as why they keep changing teammates so often?
I think, in all honesty, they want to find the perfect team. They think that there's like millions of other players out there that they want to just try to see other people instead of working with other people. And but then again, like, you get discouraged after that, right? So if there's too much, change, and then people just give up and they don't want to go pro anymore and all that other stuff. So there's that. But the North Americans, like they're not as ambitious, but they stick together like glue. Like, they actually really work together, and they tend to stay together more often. And I think that's, honestly, now that you pointed out, that's probably wise, because there's just less North American players, and there's less people to go around, I guess, right?
And also, it's a pretty difficult thing, like you said, to get into the esports scene. And from my personal perspective, as Cold Blue, not speaking on behalf of CasNet or anything, I just think that if you have a thing that's really hard to get into, then the people who you end up getting into it, like say somehow you break through that glass ceiling, for lack of a better phrase, somehow you break that glass ceiling, the people who are around you when you took those shards of glass in your side, those are the people you're going to stick with for the whole entire time. So I would feel like if you have a smaller group of people who actually achieved that, versus like a giant army of people who ran through it all at the same time, then yeah, you're gonna stick very close to those people.
Yeah, it's just getting through that chart. Like, in all honesty, like, there's so many times that like I've been on a team and we could have actually really worked out well together, but just like, somebody doesn't want to go pro anymore, or somebody doesn't like somebody else, or whatever, or somebody thinks somebody else is crap, and like, there's so many times that, like, if people had just worked out their differences, that things would work out better. But unfortunately, most of the time people don't want to spend the energy to do that, especially because you're not getting paid, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a huge factor. I mean, like, you're trying to make this your job, and you're trying to make this your career, and you see the opportunity, but it takes so much effort and so much time, and you have to go broke before you can go big, which sucks, but like, in my opinion, it's going to be worth it. So that's actually really what I'm trying to do. Is I'm not actually trying to become a caster, I'm actually trying to become a professional player.
Really?
So yeah, like, really, I just don't really tell people that often, because most people are like, they don't believe me, or they're like, you'll give up on it in a couple months or something. And I'm not. I've actually been doing it since June of last year. That's when I started looking for teams. And I can't tell you like how much I've grown as a player since then. Like, I thought I was good back then. Like, I was trash back then compared to what I am now. And
actually, that's gonna bring me to another interesting question, because I know I have a friend, Neslick. He used to play on, I think way back then they were called El Pride. No, Game University, and then they changed to El Pride, and then they teams changed all over the place. But long story short, I think he's the manager of MYM now.
mm-hmm.
And he's a pro player, as far as I understand. He's a pro player. Like, he played on El Pride, and then El Pride played in. It was a notable team. Like, I can say the name, people know who that is, if they know their Dota history. But he's played on the team, but now he's a manager for a team. And you're kind of in a similar situation where, well, the only difference is that you haven't actually played, presumably, on a professional or like tier 1-ish team yet, correct?
Yeah. I haven't played on a tier 1 team yet. I haven't played on a tier 2 team yet either.
So to move from player to manager, like is that like a natural thing that you see happening? Because as far as, like I said, as far as I understand it, Malk, I think he became a manager for a team too. Cinderin, he became a manager, or no, he's still playing. I don't really know. I gotta go brush up on esports history and what's current.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I'm trying to get at though is transition from a player to a manager. Is that like a natural thing, or is that something that you wanted to do, or is it something that you were kind of?
No, it's actually kind of a kick in the theoretical balls, to be honest. Like the reason like I moved to managing, well, like, okay, I'm actually the media manager for Rise Gaming, right? So I want to produce media for their Dota 2 section. But I asked them if their team had a manager, and they said no. So I said, okay, let me be the manager of your team.
Right. And
the reason being is because I want to stay close into the scene, and you know, I want to help them out and do all this stuff for them as much as I can. But it's almost like you suck, you're not good enough to kind of like that. In all reality, that's what it is, and I'm okay with that, because I know that the team that I'm managing is better than me.
Right.
But it's really kind of like a theoretical kick in the balls, and like I haven't, and I'm so gonna say this, I haven't watched Free to Play yet.
Oh, you haven't watched Free to Play?
I can't watch it. I can't like
okay.
It's no, because like if I were to watch it, I would die in tears, because it's just like a constant reminder of your own failure. Yeah. That's how I see it, because I'm so focused on this, and I've been so focused on it for such a long time that I can't watch Free to Play until I've deemed myself successful enough to watch it.
That's commendable. That's commendable.
Yeah, well, I hope so. But other people are like, just watch it. It's just a documentary. And I'm like, that's not fair. I'm supposed to be in it.
It's a personal thing. It's like a personal goal. And like I definitely do agree with it, because I have one of my personal goals, and I'll tell you afterwards. You guys don't need to know here. You guys don't need to know it here, because Cool Blue might tear up. But no, I won't tear up. It's just to talk to Day9. That's my only goal. It's not that big of a deal. But one day it'll happen. See, darn it, I told the internet. No, I know. But anyway, yeah, what I was gonna say though was that it is a really good movie in the sense that it puts a face on the thing of like, yeah, players who are doing this thing for Dota, they know that they're taking a big risk, and some people win, some people lose. If you have a tournament with 8 teams, there's gonna be somebody in 8th place. I mean, it's just point blank. It's just like a fact of life. Not everybody's gonna win. So, like I said, commendable that you will not watch the movie until you make it big. And I do, or we all do, wish you the best of luck, because this has been awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's no, it's just that like the whole getting into the professional. It's funny because it's like it's so hard for me to tell my parents. Right. Like my parents, you know, they're like, oh, well, how long is this gonna take? How long? Well, my parents actually started with how long until you quit kind of thing, right?
Right, exactly.
And I actually, to be honest, I actually have a series of videos that I've done, like facial videos, but they're extremely emotional because I've been talking about like the things that have been going on with me and why I haven't made it yet and all this other stuff. And I haven't uploaded them at all because I feel like, you know, like there's no point in me uploading them yet.
Right.
So that's also why I started streaming, is because I started streaming so I can play better under pressure. So I know I've gotten a little bit better since I've been streaming,
Mm-hmm.
and B, so that I can
Open the floodgates to Reddit.
well, like honestly, I haven't posted my Twitch on anything.
Okay.
Like I haven't posted it on anything that would like, so I don't know. I'm too scared to right now. Like, cause like I used to post all my stuff on Twitch before when I was doing all the interviews, and you kind of just got flamed out for it.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of women that are coming out now, so being, you know, like all that stuff is starting to die down, which it should.
Right.
So.
And there's also Cool Blue, who, for some reason, whenever there's a female person on this interview series, ends up talking about females versus community. So, do you want to go ahead and go down that road?
I'm okay with it. Like, you can ask whatever you want. I'm okay with that.
So, I'll go ahead and skip a few of these questions later on, but I'll ask you this question. Relative to now, because you've been in the esports scene, as far as I understand it, for quite a while, relative to now, about how much better have we gotten to dealing with females in the, and by we I mean us, the male gamers, dealing with females in the, well, playing video games scene?
Honestly, like, infinitely better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't even describe how bad it was before and how much different it is now. Like, and to be honest, like, I really, like, I still have this thing where I can't speak on the mic in a game anymore just because of the crap that you go through. And, you know, I really have nothing to fear, though, because I hear women talk all the time, actually, in Dota. And, you know, they'll talk, like, whatever, and you never hear people do the things that I've been told. I actually did a video for a project for one of my... God, why can I not remember? It was one of my English major classes. It was like rhetoric, right? It's you know, for the people that don't know, it's like, you know, how to convince, you know, a certain audience about something, right? Using rhetoric. And what I did is you know, the topic I had chosen was to help balance, I should say, I don't really want to say it this way, but like there's no other way to say it, like balance out the equality, but doing it in a positive manner, right? And like with positive reinforcement and not negative fuck you reinforcement kind of thing, right? So I actually did a video and I did a test of, you know, and there's people that were typing out just like the most like horrendous things, right? And that's what I actually got it from Dota 2. Wow. And all I would do is I would just talk in the mic and that would happen. But honestly, like, it's so rare. It actually took me a couple days to come up with the video footage for it, because just it doesn't happen anymore. And I think people are starting to realize that there's really no purpose for it, you know? Like, there's no, like, you know? Like, yeah, you get the trolls in Twitch chat, but I don't think they're doing it to hurt people. I think they're doing it because they want to be funny. So it doesn't, like, in all honesty, it's gotten so much better that it's just not and a lot of the times it's really girls versus girls. Like, it's not like the men in the community, and there is sometimes, but there's always going to be, you know, a sour apple.
I think it's more so a thing of on the topic of the community getting better. It's more so a thing of people are starting to understand. It's like, oh, okay, or people are getting more mature because they're actually getting more mature. Like, I don't know what better way to say that, but it's getting to the point where the people who used to flame all the time, and by used to I mean probably still do occasionally, they're understanding, it's like, oh, like, as they're becoming more grown up and more professional in their actual real life, like, oh, you know, there's some things I can't say. Like, I can't walk up to the CEO and say, who happens to be a lady, and say, oh my gosh, you have some really nice tits. Like, you can't do that. That's something that you'll get fired for. You'll literally get
GTFO.
Yeah. So you can't do that in real life. And people are starting to become more professional in video games because the generation of us. Oh, okay, I don't know how old you are, and I'm not asking, but the generation of us is growing up to where we are starting to get our jobs. We're starting to become like CEOs and stuff, or somewhere working towards that. we're starting to become more professional, literally in the real world. So it reflects in the video game world. When we're just sitting down after a long day of work, we don't want to hear some 3-year-old yell out how he did your mom in every single way possible. It's like, no, dude, chill out. And the more we become adults, the more games become adults, and the more professional games can become. Which is why I think we're starting to see a surgence of more casters, but that's just a theory.
Well, yeah, no, I actually, like, I agree with you, but then again, you also have to understand there's a lot of people that are coming in that are new to Dota 2 and all that other stuff. But to be honest, they have their own communities. And when I said before that there are things I don't agree with that people do in the Dota scene, but I can see why they do it. I think, in all honesty, I think it's just a phase. It's just a phase that people go through where they want to express themselves and they want to be that funny troll and they want to do all these things, and or they want to they really just want to speak their mind. And I went through that phase. Like, honestly, I used to be such a dick. Like, I really like in Dota 1, like there's like honestly, like if anyone ever sees this interview from Dota Cash, I am sorry. I am legitimately sorry for how I was. You know Scarlet from Dota 2?
No, I don't.
Right?
But keep going.
Okay, Scarlet, right? Oh, I always forget her name. It's Scarlet, yeah, from Dota 2.
Okay.
She's actually like a professional player, I think, or she's a semi-professional. Scarlet, Dota, sorry,
okay.
StarCraft 2.
While you Google that, I'll talk about something really fast. There's actually something I can't find it for the life of me, but it's actually like a website where they basically like somebody flames, or when somebody flames versus like a person that happened to find out as a female gamer. It's some website called like because she's fat or something like that. But it's basically what they do is they post like things like they get an Xbox Live message of somebody harassing them, like some guy harassing them or somebody being a troll, and they'll basically post on there, and everybody who reads it will literally go and find that person on Xbox Live and report them for what they did. And it's, to me, like, I find it interesting, not in the sense that it's a group of community ganging up on that person who's trolling or something like that, but I find it interesting because, like, if you go down and sit down, like, read some of the stuff that they actually post up there that actually happened to them, like they have screenshot proof of it. It's like, wow, people actually say that?
Yeah, but I don't agree with the whole, like, going back and doing stuff like that. Like, that to me is...
I don't either. I think that's way unnecessary. Like I think
it's just revolving a circle of hatred, in all honesty. And, like, I don't like that at all. I would never do that to somebody. I've actually had people... There was actually this one girl that played video games, and she ended up actually putting me... She took my pictures off of my Facebook, and she... there's actually, like, honestly, if anyone actually ever wanted to find this, Tumblr pages about, like, people like that just disliked me, and it's because I was so young and I didn't really, like, I wasn't very sociable in real life, so I just turned it against the people that, I wasn't trying to hurt people, I was just trying to be funny. But it ended up hurting people, and then I just didn't care about it. And yeah, her name was Scarlet. She actually, I always want to say Sheever on accident because I'm so used to hearing Sheever instead. I just wanted to look up the name. Yeah, it's Scarlet. She used to play Dota 2. Or not Dota 2, Dota 1. She used to play Dota 1, and I was the biggest bitch to her ever. And I feel so bad because, like, honestly, if I ever go to a LAN where StarCraft 2 is there and she's there, I will run up to her and I'd be like, I hope to God you don't remember me, but I am so sorry for being such a dick. Like, because I just, like, I wanted to be funny, but then she took it, like, offensively, and then she ended up going to StarCraft 2. And, so I felt like such an ass, but it's true. I think it's just a phase that everyone goes through. That's why, like, if people flame me or anything like that, I don't really take it seriously because it's, like, it's just people wanting to express themselves, and I shouldn't.
But still, I mean, like, I think one thing that people don't understand, like, we actually talked about this in that extended thing that's going to be deleted. On the Twitch live stream that I did, what was it, yesterday? Was that yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday.
But basically, like people forget very quickly, like, even though we all have this thing of anonymous behind our stuff, even though you might actually feel like you know somebody, you don't actually know them in real life, that there are actually people behind those tags, there are actually people behind those screen names and usernames, and they have feelings, and that shit hurts.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, that's why I think about it too, like, they're not just, like, trolls, you know, they're people that actually want to express themselves and actually want to express something that's bothering them and all that other stuff. So yeah, like I went through that phase. Like I am not immune to, you know, anything like that. And in Dota Cash, I was such a dick, man. And
Okay,
it
okay,
was just
okay.
because I wanted to
Don't
be
worry, don't worry,
funny.
don't worry. You have to feel bad because what we'll do is I'll give you a minute or two or however you want to monologue for this. To just basically go ahead and throw like a full-fledged apology. If you want to throw an apology or just say whatever you want to say to anybody that you feel like you should deserve or that you owe an apology to. I mean, this is all you. You can like say two things and we'll keep going. But this is all you. Go ahead.
Right now? Oh, to be honest, the only person like I really want to say it to is Scarlett because I was such a dick, and it was only because I was jealous of her, like because she was so much better than me at Dota 2, or at Dota 1, and you know, like, and I was just so jealous because she was so good, and yeah. But that's really like, I guess it's not really like an apology. It's just like I want people to understand that, like, if you get flamed by somebody like that, just understand that they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they don't mean it to hurt you. I think sometimes they just want to be funny. Like all of the kitchen jokes, I don't really find them funny, but like I think that people just want to be funny and they want to be liked. So that's why they say it. I don't think they actually mean it in the sense of hurting you. So I think that people should, you know, if you end up coming across stuff like that, try not to take it offensively and try not to let it bring you down. I think that's what I would rather say than like a public apology.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Don't forget, this is your interview, so this is all about you. And it's all about you. How long?
It's all about reinforcing positivity throughout the Dota community.
There you go. We should like clip that and like put that in like a soundbite and send it to everybody on the internet.
They be like, who the
fuck? Exactly. And then we'll follow it up with that part.
Yeah.
But okay,
so,
okay.
Yeah, no, that's all I have for that.
Okay, so I actually asked this question already in the form of people's attitudes towards females, but I'll ask it again and then we'll skip a few other things. But how has the scene evolved as far as like how has it grown? How have you seen it grow since your days of starting out with the Dota Cash?
It's just a lot more women are coming out, and it's not that a lot more women are getting into the game. It's just a lot more women are being open with it. Because I kid you not, there's still times if people were to ask me if I'm a girl, I just instinctively say no. Like it's just an instinct because you're so used to saying it. Because you know, there's no women on the internet. You know how many times I've said there's no women on the internet? You know how many times I've like lied to people and said like I'm legitimately not a woman? Like it's just instinctively. And I think that I've just been around for so long, like, and I've been in video games for so long, like literally every single day of my life since I was old enough to pick up my mouse and the keyboard and play something. I've been on a computer, like, so it's just, you know, but some women that are just getting into it and stuff like that, they don't have to feel that way, you know, and that's so unbelievable. And the other thing too is men shouldn't have to feel like they have to say something weird, you know? Like I kid you not, I still get a little like, whoa, that's a girl? Like it still happens to me because I just been, you know, I've been so used to.
And see, like to be honest, I'm gonna go ahead and confess, because there was this one time that I was in a match of Dota, and this is actually like fairly recent, like give or take a month. A month ago, give or take 2 weeks, that's what I meant to say. But basically what happened was, like, I was playing a game, and then, you know, I was playing a Billy draft, and then, you know, we were just talking about things, and all of a sudden I hear this super high-pitched voice. I was like, oh man, that's a girl. And, like, there was, like, literally 2/3 of me that literally was about to go click on her profile and try to add her. Like, I don't know why. It was, like, instinct or something. So...
And it's just because it's been, like, programmed into us because, you know, we've been around for so long, but it's that other third of you that stopped you is the part that's evolving, because it's like, you know, like I met a girl, like honestly, okay, I met a girl 2 days ago in my stream, and I ended up adding her, but it's just because they were really nice to me, right?
Right.
And then like a week ago, I met this girl in a game, and she was a total fucking bitch. Like she was such an asshole.
Did you
And I was like, you know what? You're mean. And I was like, fuck you. But I would have said that to anyone that treated me that way, you know?
Right, okay. Mm-hmm.
So, but the thing that happened with her is like nobody was calling her out for being like, you know, PMSing whore or whatever, you know?
Right.
And I didn't say that to her either. I was just like, wow, you're kind of a cunt, you know, for a better word. But like I see, in my stream, I say that full-heartedly because like curse words are a mean of expression for me, right? But like I don't mean it in the sense of like you know.
Just for all those who maybe weren't expecting a few of those words out there, I'm just gonna let you guys know up front, we don't promise that every video is family friendly with air quotes, and we also don't want to limit the interviewee from saying their true mind, because this interview is all about Diamond. So if she wants to say that, she can say that. Just all the way.
Well, I'm gonna, you know.
No. You're fine. I'm just making sure people know, like CasNet and all that stuff. I'm trying to disassociate us from you. Haha. No.
That's fine. I totally understand.
No.
By the way, all that I say in this interview has nothing to do with my sponsors at risegaming.com, except for when I say something good about risegaming.com, is that you know, they're amazing, and you guys should go check out their website, risegaming.com. .org. I'm sorry, .org. Anyway,
oh man, that was a weird cough you got there.
Plugins. I don't know what those are.
Yeah, you know, just throw.
Yeah,
throw
no, I don't.
But
what?
But yes, seriously though. What I was trying to say though is that we understand what those words mean, and for all those who might feel like, oh, she said that F word, oh, she said cunt, it's like, dude, please understand that this is not like a super professional thing. This is more so a thing to give these guys, or these ladies, sorry, my apologies.
It's okay. I'm so used to be calling a guy, it doesn't even affect me. Like, it doesn't.
Give everybody a way to have their name out there. So, anyway, I kind of forgot what we were talking about.
Something about, like, how is it improved?
Oh, yeah.
That's
how
really...
has the scene improved? Like, size-wise, tournaments and players and skill and stuff.
Honestly, though, like, the one thing I haven't seen, you hear about women in the professional scene here and there, but other than all-female teams, which I completely and strongly disapprove of, like, I don't ever hear about other women. Like, you hear, well, I think there's a couple, like 2 or 3, but you don't really hear about women actually trying to get into the professional scene.
Right.
And that, I think, when that happens, when a woman actually makes it onto the stage of the international, even if they're in, like, the worst team there, or even on the stage of DreamHack or something like that, like, that's when it's all going to just break apart. And I think for the better, you know? Like, I think that's what needs to happen. So, and it needs to be, in my opinion, a mixture of men and women on the same team.
Right. And
so.
I would definitely agree with you, because I'm not saying that all female teams are like not a legit thing, but come on guys, have you seen some of the all female teams? I mean, I'm not gonna point at anybody, but geez, they seem like models. I'm pretty sure they're not that good at Dota.
Like, they're good at what they do, and what they do is marketing. Like,
exactly.
I kid you not, like, I have nothing against those women, because they are doing something that I could never do. Like, I could never model myself off and be like, oh, you know, like, look at me, professional woman. Like, I could never do that. And if it makes them happy, then, you know, screw it. Like, that, like, they're doing something, and they're higher into the professional scene than I am. So, I mean, I have nothing against that. And I called them glorified news articles, because that's really what they are. It's the same women, by the way. Like, all of the European women, like, they were on Virtus Pro, now they're on Na'Vi, and the LGD ones, they were, I forgot, LGD Int, or no, LGD fired. China.
Hashtag no shots fired here, just saying.
Yeah, no, like, I have nothing, but that's the thing, is like, these women do their jobs and they do them well. Like, it's the same women from Virtus Pro to Na'Vi, it's the same women, like, they're doing their jobs well, and they're getting paid for it, so, like, I have nothing against that. They're just not professionals at the game. They're professional, like, news feeders, but they're not professionals at the game, so...
No, call it there. Report for feeding. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I think like you shouldn't limit yourself and that's actually like I thought I was gonna have a big issue with when I was looking for teams.
Right.
It's like, oh, people aren't gonna want to play with me, and you get a little bit of it here and there. I've had people that are like legitimately like, oh, well, we won't be able to enter tournaments because you're a woman. I'm like, why? They're like, but you're not allowed to be in a tournament, are you? Like, right?
Oh, really?
And no, it's people that genuinely believe it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like they're trying to be mean or anything, but they just genuinely believe that women are not allowed in these tournaments. Like,
you know, to be honest, I don't want to be like the negative Nancy over here, but I feel like if there was like a girl, like maybe say it was 2 girls on a team and those other 3 people were guys, and they were all going to like the back of stage to get ready to go on stage to get into the game. I feel like one security guards might like try to stop the lady and say no groupies please or something like that. I can see that happening.
yeah, I can too. And I know it sounds kind of conceited, but I almost want to be like, I want to be the first, like, so that I can just break through everything, you know, because women shouldn't have to deal with that shit. Nobody should have to deal with it. Like, men shouldn't have to deal with it, women shouldn't have to deal with it, trannies, whatever. Nobody should have to deal with that. Like, so I just, like, I feel like that's really what I want to do, is I want to help, like, create a path that is easier for other people to, you know, go through. And, you know, because I know that there's women that are out there that want to go professional,
right,
but they can't because they're too scared, or they can't because, you know, they get men like that, or, you know, and like it still exists.
right.
And I have to be honest, it's probably still a little bit more contacted into the professional scene. And the only reason I say that is because most of the professionals have just been around for so long that they're like hardwired to think a certain way.
Yeah.
And that goes for the women that are in there too. Like, women are really competitive versus each other. I'm not saying names.
I mean,
like, well, actually, because I don't know names, but I just know women personally that are very competitive.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I think what was it? It was a running joke that said, I don't know, I don't understand why men always try to say they want to understand women. I mean, women understand women, and they hate each other.
Yeah, like, I wish I had, like, those girl friends that I could just, like, you know, just chill out. And I don't know what women do with each other, to be honest. Like, I've never genuinely got along with women. And I think it's because I'm so vulgar and brutally to the point, and that's just because that's how gaming has made me. And most men can take that, right? And but women are just like, oh my god, she said she doesn't like my hair color. Oh my god, I'm gonna tear this bitch.
Yes. We obviously don't support stereotypes, but yes, stereotypes are there for a reason.
Well, I'm just saying, you know.
I didn't say it. Well, I did say it, but I didn't mean to say it.
I know. By the way, I wasn't impersonating anyone in the Dota scene. I was just saying, like, women. Yeah, a woman stereotype, right?
Yeah.
So that's just, I don't know.
Stereotypical Valley girl who probably doesn't know what a computer is. Or maybe,
yeah, right? And I'd be like, oh, I live off of a computer. And they'd be like, what? Oh my god.
It's like, when do you eat food? Okay. Anyway, moving on. From women to things related to video games. What other games do you play?
None. Well, no, I lied. I just finished a playthrough of South Park, The Sticks of Truth, which is actually really fun. But most of the games that I contact with, I should say it that way, is I actually watch a lot of playthroughs.
Really?
Or Let's Plays. I don't play the games myself because I like it would take me too much time to get used to another game.
Diamond, I approved. You can say it. Ain't nobody got time for that.
I know, I'm serious. I don't got time for that shit. Like, and the other thing too is like I don't want to like lose my Dota skill. Like, if I kid you not, if I take like 2 days off of Dota and I come back, I've literally dropped an entire level of skill, and I just then I have to work to get back up there, and I don't know, like. You know, and you're just like, oh my god, I forgot how to buy items. You know, like, and I don't want to do that, especially when I'm trying to actually get into the professional scene.
Right.
And, you know.
But hey, pros make mistakes. That happens.
I'm not allowed to make mistakes. Honestly, like, that's why I get so heated up, and I try so hard at my game on my stream. And it's probably why my stream isn't that popular, is because I'm so pissed off all the time. It's because when I make a mistake, I really beat myself up over it because I shouldn't be making mistakes like that anymore, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I get so much better from it. Like, I get better at the game because I know what I should be doing, what I shouldn't be doing.
Right.
And, like, if I miss a shackle, like, if I miss CS, every CS that I miss,
Mm-hmm.
at a certain point,
Whoa. Before you continue, please don't tell me you cut yourself. For every
No.
Okay.
Oh my god. No. I just get really just pissy and I'm just like, ah.
Okay.
No, I just get a little pissy and that's all. Like losing MMR to me is like,
Oh man.
I have to defend myself here. I was teaching somebody Dota, which is the worst thing I could have ever done on my own account, because it dropped me so far in my MMR pool. Like it literally, like, I haven't had the courage to go back to my MMR because I either get levers or I get other stuff like that. Like, I feel like I'm in ELO hell, which everybody in ELO hell says that the same fucking thing, that they deserve to be in a better pool, but I really feel like it. And I swear to God, I deserve to be in a better pool.
Come on, guys. Listen to her. She sounds awesome. She sounds beautiful. Come on. She deserves to be in...
Honestly, I really wish I could reset my MMR, but you can't, so... But, like, I taught this guy for, like, 6 months, and it sucked, because I was looking for a team at the same time, and I kept teaching him, and you just, like, your skill level drops. And it's not a bad thing to want to teach people Dota. It's just that I was playing with him for so long, and my friend was, like, really good friends with him, and she was like, oh, please, oh, my God, ah.
But it was worth it, right? It was worth it.
No, God, no, it was not worth it.
Come on.
I'm sorry, but it was not, like, for how low of a queue I'm in right now, and how much I've lost, like, in MMR, like, I can't really have, like, decent pub games anymore.
Well,
like, all my decent games are scrims.
If it makes you feel any better, probably whatever level you were in before and whatever level you're in now, like, the differential, between those two drops, is probably still higher than the level that I'm in right now.
Maybe not. I lost 1,200 MMR from that.
Oh my gosh.
1,200 MMR.
See,
I've never known somebody that lost more than 1,000, but I lost 1,200 MMR from it.
Yeah. Actually, I don't have MMR because I haven't played ranked.
You know what? I didn't play solo ranked until after that, because I was like, oh, I'm never gonna need, like, I was like, okay, I don't really care about my party rating, and if I need it to, I could just grind it back up. So I played party ranked with him, right? Because he wanted to play ranked.
Right.
So I played party ranked with him, and I had a party rating before. So, and I'm not gonna say it because then, you could just subtract 1,200, but like, no. So we started off on party rating, and I would just teach him, like, every day through party rating. And I was like, oh, it doesn't affect my solo MMR, but it does, because after I stopped teaching him, I went and played solo, and I played those 10 games. Literally 6 out of 10 of those games, I had people leave on my team. And I was like, wow, what is this? I was like, oh, there's no way that can matter. And I ended up in an even lower rating than what my party rating was at. And it's because, like, when I was playing with him, it was just a consistent drop. And whenever, like, MMR doesn't count for lobby games, right? So that's where all my team games were. All my team games were in scrims or lobby games or stuff like that, right? So, like, everything that I was learning for those 6 months, it was in lobby games, which didn't count towards my MMR. And it sucks, because I was just like,
Here's a question actually though, because like you said before, you're trying to get into the professional scene. Your MMR absolutely matters to you, and especially if you're trying to come to a team and say, hey, my MMR is like, hey, can I join your team? And that's, okay, what's your MMR? But
I usually tell people I don't have one. Like honestly, like, that's what I told so many people on so many teams, is that I don't have one.
Wow.
And no, it's really what it, and people believe it though. They're like, yeah, that's fine. But, like, I'm just like, oh, just play with me and then see how it is. And, like, when I play with a team, I play relatively well. Like, I play fine. In my opinion, I play fine with the people that I play with. I don't go, like, 0-16 or whatever, or even 0-7 or anything like that. Like, I don't do that. So.
Way to make me feel bad. But no. Seriously though, I was gonna ask, do you think MMR is a fair way to judge somebody who you never heard of. It's like, okay, what's your MMR? Do you think that's a fair thing to do, or do you think it's better to actually sit down and play with them, like for at least?
I think, based on the thousands, I think it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think, but then again too, like it differs on where you're from. Like there's people that I know that are in like 4600 ratio, 40, I would say 45 to 48, 4900 MMR in Europe that are worse than people that I would deem worse than people that are in America that are at the 3800 to 4.1 range. And it's different based on where you're from, and it's different play styles too. Like genuinely Europeans are a little bit more aggressive. Genuinely North American players are a little more defensive, you know? And but I would still, like, I know one guy that's actually, he's an amazing mid player, and he's only like 3800 MMR. And I, like, when I found that out, like, and this was only a couple weeks ago that I found this out. Like, when I found that out, I was like, oh my God, MMR really doesn't matter too much. But it's a number, it's a popularity number. And in all honesty, and even now that they made the leaderboard, which, to be quite honest, I did not agree with at all, because it's really a popularity contest now. Yeah. And
like, if you're at the top, you're probably going to get picked for like a bunch of teams or try to get recruited.
But it's not even that though. Like the people that I know that are in the 6K or the high 5Ks are the people that took advantage of the MMR system when it first came out. Like, those are the people that picked Earth Spirit at the very beginning, or they picked like Nature's Prophet or anything like that, or they're people that play the Imba heroes per patch. So they're like, those are the kind of people. But most of them were the Earth Spirit. When Earth Spirit just came out to Dota 2, those were all the Earth Spirit players. Like, every single person.
He was broken.
Yeah, because they would just win games on their own, you know. So that's like how I feel about that. But I think there is a general statement that most professionals are in, you know, this range, and most people that are in the semi-professional scene, like, I would call all tier 2 to tier 4 teams, I would call them all semi-professionals, and then professionals would be the tier 1 to maybe top high tier 2 teams. But like, I don't know, I think they all have a general rating, but I don't think that, you know, you're good because you're 5K MMR. Like, that I know isn't true.
Now, just to generalize things a little bit, and also to make them specific once again, because we are going into like an hour and 12 minutes, and I think this is officially the longest interview. Yes! Congratulations.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry! You should tell me to shut up more!
No, you're fine, it's fine. I like the conversation we're having. But I want to generalize this more towards all esports. Do you think somebody having like the top rank, like I think in League of Legends they use the tier system, they use like Diamond tier and like Silver tier or something like that. In StarCraft, I know they use the tier system as well, like the Master Series and all that stuff. And I don't think Stripe has one yet. I don't think Han had one ever. But do you think systems like that are good ways to say, okay, you're a really good player? Or do you think the old system, before they actually got the rank system inside of Dota 2, where you, like, in order to join a league, you had to have, they said you literally had to play 100 games. Like, you have to have 100 games on your account or you can't join the league. Do you think that's a better way? Or do you think a better way is to say, okay, my rank is this. My rank is 7,000. Or I've played 300 games. Which one do you think would be better?
I think, actually, the way that they have broader tiers, I think that's a little bit better than an actual number. So when you put a number to it, it puts this sort of realism to it, where it's like, like, theoretically speaking, somebody should be better than you if they're in a higher MMR, right? I don't think that, like, there's a lot of people that don't think that's true. There's a lot of people that do think that's true. So I think that I don't really agree with the number system. I would agree with like how they have like platinum or master, gold or bronze. Like I'm okay with that. But even then, I think it should only be if you want it. Like, I don't think you should have to have it, you know? Like, that's only if you want to play ranked games or anything like that. I don't think it should And the other thing too, I think it should also be based on the amount of games you play. Like I think that people that are in.
So you would like a system mix of like a sectional system, but if you play like 100 games versus somebody who's played 13 games and they have like a better score than you, but you still should be higher because you play more games.
Well, no, I don't think you should be put higher, but I think you should be allowed to be higher.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay.
You know, like, but I don't think that like I agree with having like a certain amount of games, then you could play ranked, you know, like I agree with that.
Right.
But I think, like, honestly, I think you shouldn't be allowed to be in 5K MMR if you don't have, I honestly would say 1,000 games.
1,000, wow, that's a lot of games.
Well, but that's the thing, is 5K MMR is supposed to be pretty good, right?
Right, but that's a lot of games.
But that's like 500 wins, 500 losses.
I know, but
that's not that many. I have like 2,700.
But still, like if you consider a normal day, you can play like maybe 7 or 8 games.
Okay, fine, 800. But I think it should be pretty big. Like, okay, I would go 800 to 600 would be the lowest for 5K MMR.
Okay,
6K MMR is definitely 1,000, in my opinion.
But overall, you think it would be more fair to have like a ranked up system where like you have different tiers of players, and then you can be like the top of that tier, and then you can, well, kind of like the JDL where they had the things split up based on was it sections, or what do they call it, divisions?
Yeah, I wouldn't like, if you keep separating it, it's just, I think it makes the game into like you're putting your own personal self on a numerical value.
Right.
And people do that too much, and I think it's honestly depressing, and it pisses people off too much. And I think people should have to remember, like, people shouldn't have to be reminded that they're there to enjoy the game. You know, and yeah, I get the whole competition thing, but that's where the whole, you know, being in these tiers kind of thing comes in, right? Or if you want to get into the competition, you could get a team or all that other stuff, or join a tournament. But like, I don't think that a numerical value is something that should be there. And I swear I'm so 100% okay with you cropping stuff out, because I feel really bad for like
No, you're
an
fine.
hour.
You're fine.
I swear I feel awful. Like, that's why I told you before. It's like, how long do you want this to be? Because I could keep talking. Okay.
Trust me, it's okay. This interview is about you, and this is I basically want this interview to be about, well, the questions. We're gonna follow that, and then we're actually getting to our last 2 questions, which is the outro question. So don't worry, you're fine. But an hour and 30 minutes, 90 minutes for an interview, I'm perfectly fine with that, because it helps everybody out. It helps me practice. It helps you get your stuff out, and also get some really good information about you. And we get to talk about esports, so it's a win-win-win.
Well, thank you for looking at it that way.
Okay, so the next 2 questions, like I said, were the outro questions. Oh, sorry, it's actually 3. Do you have any, really briefly, do you have any interesting talents that you would be okay with telling the internet? That you would be okay with telling the internet. That's a very important part.
I'm good at baking. I'm an American. I love cookies.
Okay,
I actually build a lot of my own stuff, which is my desk and a lot of other stuff too. I'm good at that.
You did send the picture. I didn't post it.
It's okay. No, it's fine. It's on my YouTube and it's on my Twitch, so if people want to look at it, it's there.
Okay.
I do build a lot of stuff, and I'm a decent cook, and I'm pretty good at martial arts too, that I could say.
Okay,
and then
so you could cook us a meal, then build us something, and then kick our tails afterwards.
Yeah, pretty much. Just pretty much how I plan on managing the team.
So you'll bake them cookies, build them new machines, and then kick their tails if they mess up.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's about 100% right. So
that's extremely scary.
there will be a lot more vulgarity in the kicking tails part, but yeah,
Okay, yeah,
that's
of
pretty much 100%. Yeah.
No, I understand. People get out of line. You gotta be the coach. You gotta yell at them, tell them to get back in their places. You be carry. You be support. Go, do it. Okay. And do you have any shout outs you'd like to make? Any and all shout outs you would like to make? Please feel free to throw in everybody. And by everybody, I mean all of your old friends from the Dota commentators, if you want to.
Honestly, like, I don't know. I would like to thank everybody from Dota commentaries. Everyone, honestly, that's been a part of my life that has gotten me to where I'm at right now, then I would say thank you too. And thank you also to Rise Gaming for giving me the opportunity to work with them and to help their scene grow into the Dota community. And I'm glad that I could be a part of that. And of course to my team, those little bastards, but they better win their JDL tournament. I swear to God, I'm gonna be whooping some ass if they aren't winning that tournament. And I would also like to thank Join Dota for all of the things that they've done for me and all of that. And thank you, of course, for doing this interview with me. Even though I made it like really, really long, and I feel awful for it.
It's okay. It's okay. Long interviews are awesome. Because okay. This is what, just to let you feel better, or make you feel better. And for all who are still listening, thank you guys for still listening. But the way I like to watch interviews, especially when there's nothing too fancy going on screen, is I like to just play in the background and I'm doing some homework. I just listen to what's going on. I don't like have to watch or feel like I'm rushed for time. And they can see up front that the video lasts for 90 minutes. So, I mean,
I know.
They want to know more about you, so here they are.
Well, thank you for that. And thank you to everyone that's been supporting my Twitch and all that stuff, because it means so much to me that people come out and view me and just see how I am. So, yeah, and that would be it.
Okay, and where can people find you? Because we have your sites here, and we actually did this in the middle, which is actually, now I'm kind of, that was like 30 minutes ago. No, that was 40 minutes ago. Wow. Jeez. Anyway, where can people find you? Just to give them a quick reminder.
Honestly, the easiest way to find me on anything else is through my Twitch. So my Twitch is DiamondDota, so it's DIAMOND and then another DOTA. So it's both full words. And then all my other links to my Facebook, my YouTube, my Twitter, my DeviantArt, that's all there. And I do a lot of my giveaways. So I do a lot of item giveaways, which, by the way, I'm going to do another item giveaway soon for my announcers, because all my announcers piss me off when I'm in game. So I'm just going to give them all away. So stay tuned for that, and that will all be updated through my Twitter, my Facebook, my Twitch, and all that other stuff. So yeah, and I just got a new bot for my Twitter or my Twitch, so I'm actually really excited to use it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, and that will be the last question that's on the list, and that will actually conclude this interview, which I'm actually sad because I was kind of hoping we made it to 90 minutes, but we're like 8 minutes short.
I'm sorry.
Fine. Okay, fine. I'll go ahead and do the outro. We won't stall for too much longer because our parents actually just came home, and I think I'm gonna have to be quiet soon. But okay, guys, this has been an interview with Diamond, which is actually, the full name is Diamond 86248. That's Diamond. Wow, it sounds like an AT&T commercial, like old school call collect. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. C-A-L-L-A-T. Okay. Anyway, but this has been an interview with Diamond. Thank you, Diamond, for joining us. Would you like to say your final goodbye to all the beautiful people out there?
All right, thank you guys so much for listening, and I hope you guys watch all of his other interviews of Cool Blue.
CasNet.
And
Of CasNet.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for listening, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening.
Or nighttime, or morning time, depending.
Morning, whatever. Day sing.
There you go. And as always, my name is Cool Blue. Thank you guys for joining us for this interview. We are glad to have you, Diamond, and we're glad to hold these interviews. And yes, guys, these interviews can last a long time. They can be a short time. We prefer the longer ones because you get to learn more and we get to talk about more things. And Cool Blue just likes to talk. I don't know if you figured that out by now. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, we'll see you guys whenever.